All right. Well, Candy.
Jimmy. All right.
Treat it like a
Shout out to Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah. But so let's go ahead, and what I want to do ideally is just talk about. So you were the first one to really get into Cloud Campaign, and let's talk about kind of how that started, as far as initially just looking for a solution to be able to post to all these places. Dealing with social media is kind of a pain in the ass, right?
Yes, especially as a business owner. Yeah. It isn't something that I stumbled upon. It was brought to me, by our colleague, Mario.
Yeah.
And he kind of put it into my corner. I started doing research and learning, and eventually saw that this was a really powerful tool that I could use that would help me.
So, but before you actually got, so obviously the tool itself that you utilize to post across all the different social media platforms and everything like that is awesome. Mm-hmm. It's exciting. It's fun. But before that, so you were kind of working with insurance, sort of
just getting started,
second career,
yes,
and getting started trying to build your book of business.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, had you started doing something? Were you just posting to the main brokerage page at the time, or were you doing any social media at all? I mean,
yeah, I started it a little bit. I created a page on Facebook, that was specific to my insurance business. Started a TikTok channel. Didn't really do much with Instagram. Uh-huh. So it really was just Facebook and TikTok.
All video centric? Were you doing any, at the time, were you doing any images or anything like that? Or
no, it was all video, because I would record something on TikTok and then I would just push it over.
Okay.
And with anything that I start, a lot of times I get really excited, and then I get so busy with a lot of other things that it just became, I just couldn't manage it.
Right.
And so I stopped pretty much completely.
Well, it's difficult when you're running, especially building a business.
Yeah.
I speak from experience, and I love creating content personally.
Yeah, I do too, actually.
It's fun.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
This is the fun part of our job.
Totally. It allows you to be creative if you
Exactly.
like being creative.
Exactly. Yeah. I know not everyone likes it, but I personally do.
Yeah.
And you do as well. But at the same time, when you're initially building a business, you're wearing so many hats and trying to do so many different things. And it seems like, for me, and I don't know if you agree, but it seems like content creation is one of those things that, even though I really like doing it, like I almost feel guilty sometimes when I'm putting a whole lot of time into it.
Yeah.
Because I have all this other stuff to do, and there's employees and different things that are counting on you, and you're counting on yourself to make enough money, and you're
right.
All these different things going on.
Well, yeah, I can totally relate to that. I mean, it was so important, but it was taking a lot of time because of the creative energy that it was requiring of me, and especially just entering a new industry that I was learning about myself. It was like, how do I share information that I'm learning about? And Mario would be like, well, that's perfect. Just talk about it because you're learning. But it was difficult to take it and to sound confident in my message, to sound like I knew what I was talking about, because I really didn't. I was learning,
Well, and what I've noticed with so many people, so many small businesses just getting into, kind of content creation and doing things for their business, is that they often are, all they want to talk about, all they think that they should be posting about is just like product, service,
right.
product, buy,
Right.
talk to me, let's go.
Me.
And that's, even though I know that that's wrong, as far as what I've learned, about social media over the years and stuff, it's still hard to not fall into that trap. And I've seen your content. Your content's great, and it's very educational and informational. It's perfect for your ideal customer.
Thank you.
But what steps did you have to take to actually go down that path and where did that come from? Because I know that for most businesses, that's not a natural, that's almost a very big mental shift that they have to make in order to do that. So how did that come to you, and talk to me a little bit about that.
Man, that's hard. Got to think about it for a minute. So I don't consider myself like overly creative, but I am creative. I consider myself
I agree. I know you pretty well, and I'd say you're very creative.
Well, thank you, but I'm a good copier. And I can look at other people's ideas and I can get an idea of my own from that. And so I would say that, I mean, it's funny. I think that I'm still evolving with TikTok. Okay. I'm still trying to figure out the style that I want to have. In the beginning, guess who I was trying to imitate?
Oh.
You.
Oh.
And
trying to whip your phone around.
Yes.
And do all the cool things
because,
like what I do.
Yeah. I remember you gave me kind of some pointers. And so I was like, okay, I got to be like Jimmy.
I remember being in here with you and Erwin the one time and made the
oh
how-to
my
video.
gosh. Yes. Yeah, good old
that
Erwin.
no one could follow.
Yes. But I don't know. I think the best TikTok that I've done so far was the one I did yesterday. And I saw somebody's that I was like, ooh, I really like that style. It was very natural. And I just copied it. So I think for business owners, you know, those that maybe say they don't have that creative side to them,
right?
Look at other people that they like. It doesn't mean that their message is the message that they're going to be sending out, but what do they like style-wise?
Sure.
And take that style, especially if it feels more natural to them, and start implementing that in their content. Get their message out, but with that style. I don't know. That's kind of what I've done. I'm still in the very beginning stages of this. But
you're doing good work.
Thank you. I have full faith that it's going to grow.
It works. You keep doing it, and it works. I have two thoughts on what you said, actually. But first one was I saw a video where Mr. Beast was talking about the first video you make, don't be critical because no one's going to see it.
Yeah.
And he said you shouldn't even worry about if anyone's seeing it until after you've made 100.
Okay. Well, that's a lot of content.
That's a ton of content, right? And then the other thing was when you talk about copying. So one of our clients, who you know who they are as well, but they have probably 10 million followers on YouTube, and they've got 5 million on TikTok, and they've got these huge followings.
Yes.
The number one piece of advice that he always says is, when he says, well, what helped me is I don't have to be the first one to think of a good idea.
Totally agree with that.
And on the copying thing, right? You don't copy, but you make it your own.
Yeah, totally.
And you make it your own. There's styles that are different. There's all these different things that you can do to make a piece of content, or whether it's a video or an image or whatever, to make it your own and make it unique to you.
Totally.
Because at the end of the day, you're selling yourself, right?
Totally.
It's your brand.
Yep.
And your messaging.
And you're trying to resonate with people. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to remember right now is if people can see that I'm a real person, because I am, I'm hoping that there's people out there that are going to feel like, oh, that's somebody that I want to work with because there's something about her that I connect with because she's real.
Yeah.
And so with my messaging, I mean, that's honestly the thing that's most important to me is just coming across as a real person.
Absolutely.
This is my personality. This is who I am. We might work well together. We might not. So.
Well, and something I learned years ago about messaging specifically is when you try to be real broad with your messaging, right? It takes a lot of that personality and a lot of who you are. And I think it takes a lot of your brand out of it.
Right.
And when your brand is trying to be something to everyone, it's kind of like a friend who's trying to be everything to everybody. They're nothing to anyone.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Whereas when you're very targeted, right, then your people are drawn to that, and people who fit within that client, like we're pretty casual around here.
Yeah, totally. And tennis shoes on today.
Yeah, I've had people say like, well, you guys, I like Uber drivers and stuff like that. They go, oh, well, when you go to the office, do you normally wear a suit? No.
Heck no.
Well, what about when you meet with clients? No.
Yeah, I like that.
If I have a client that, if there's someone who wants to be, or maybe I want them to be a client or whatever, and they want me to wear a suit in order to meet with them, I don't want to be their client anymore.
Not a good fit.
Or I don't want them to be my client.
Right.
They can keep their money.
Yep. That's funny because I've been thinking about like my own branding online, and I was kind of like, man, maybe I'm coming across in a way that I don't want to. But then, and I was thinking maybe I needed to go more looking that business suit attired, insurance agent look. And then I was like, nope,
Is that
that's
the
not me.
expectation you want to set?
Heck no.
'Cause
So I'm not doing it, but I'm just saying that for a slight moment, I kind of wondered. Then I was like, no, I don't have to wear a suit in order to be a good insurance agent.
right.
So I'm okay showing up in my shirt and jeans.
So let's transition from, so originally we invested in the technology, right? To build and develop something that would just post social media for everyone to, we work on property together here. And so, something that we could all use, right?
Yes.
And then it soon became apparent that it takes a lot more than just the technology.
Yes.
In order to do it, we started really utilizing our graphic designers, our video editors, and then there's the administrative people as far as loading it in and getting captions and because you're still running a business
It's a huge
outside
process.
of all this stuff, right?
Yes.
And so I guess what was that like initially? I know you started working with, I think, one or two members of the team, and then now you're working with a whole bunch. And so I guess
It's evolved.
take me through kind of how it started and where it went from there.
Okay, how it started was like pulling out my hair. It was so hard. So we were sitting in the conference room. I still remember we used the whiteboard. We kind of mapped out what we thought was the most important thing. And honestly, in the beginning, we thought that posting content 5 times a day with a different theme was like the way to do it. So for months, I wish I had the exact number for you. We were creating content. We were posting 5 times a day. It was insane. And it was a massive production because it was the process of, you can imagine 5 times 30, 31, that's a lot of content. And none of this was personalized content. I'm going to describe it as fluff.
But you need some fluff in there too.
Yeah,
That's fine.
And it was a good experience. But we've now come to the point where we've realized, okay, that is extremely excessive. And getting started, it was important because what we've realized is something is better than nothing.
Something's always better than nothing.
Something's better than nothing. And
5 of something per day may be a little excessive.
it was excessive.
Still better than nothing, though.
But it's cool because we're evolving and we're learning through this process. And now we've got this system put into place and we're realizing, okay, fluff was good for a time.
Yep.
Now we're transitioning. And now it's important to become more personal. That's what I'm realizing. I've got to engage a little bit more. I was relying on the team all the time to be my voice, but this is my business.
That's right. It's not their business.
This is my business. And so I have to be a little bit more involved than I was, but I'm still utilizing them and they're still helping me. But I'm not posting 5 times a day. And I'm creating more personal content myself.
And I'd venture to say that your content is probably more valuable than when you were doing the 5 times a day. I mean, the
Yes.
five a day was, I'd say, a good exercise.
Yeah, it was learning.
You don't know unless you try it.
Yeah.
Right?
And it was a good, it helped us get the team at least in a process of understanding kind of the direction we were going to go. And it's helped them learn along the way, and they've been able to be flexible and grow with us too. And so it wasn't wasted at all.
Right. Well, one thing I'm working towards right now is getting to where I have enough original video content to where I can post 3 times a day.
Oh my gosh, Jimmy.
So
that's huge.
3 separate posts a day. But
I'm not even close to that, but I don't even feel that pressure.
well, a lot of it will be from stuff like this.
Yeah, and I'm so
Chopped up,
excited for that. Yeah, if you want to have an insurance conversation with me. But the personalized thing, I mean, kudos to you. That's very impressive. My goal right now is just once a day.
Once a day?
Personal content that I'm creating. And it takes time,
Yeah, well, and that was, when we started getting into more consistent posting across multiple platforms, I was still doing it manually at the time, but we were doing, the goal was 1 a day for a month and see what happens.
So what happened?
And well, from that, I want to say we brought on like 4 clients,
Cool.
and our clients aren't usually cheap,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah, they're good clients.
It's
Yeah,
a decent
good
offering.
clients. Yeah, yeah. They're not $20.
No, it's not. It's not the little ones. You know, and I guess my biggest reluctancy leading up to that was just I don't think this is going to work for B2B. Right?
Yeah.
I know it would work for B2C, but B2B I just don't know about. And I talked to Mario and I said, well, let's give it a shot for a month. Let's see what happens. And a couple of weeks, you know, very little. We saw some growth and stuff, and some of my skills were definitely getting better faster than they were before because we were always in the studio and stuff anyways. But doing one every day, one brand new piece every day, it's just putting in the reps and refining those skills. And then we started getting leads from it, and this is actually working. And so we just didn't stop. We just
That's so cool. You know, my hairdresser, who I adore her. She and I talk shop all the time. Like anytime I go in there, I mean, we'll talk about personal things, but it always transitions into business. And I was telling her a lot about like my social media work and what I was doing. And she was so interested in it. And it's been really cool because I've been able to help her. And, you know, small businesses, when we're trying to run things, it's just social media is so hard to manage. And this platform that I've used and that she's using too, it's made it so easy because honestly, Jimmy, in the past I would think about, okay, I got it. Like, I mean, I was only on 2 platforms, but even just going between the 2 and worrying about posting on each one, it was time consuming and I hated having to deal with it. And I love the fact that I'm able to just put everything into one location and it just fires it out. And I don't have to think about it as much anymore. My energy is really just put into the content. And that's the same with my friend who does my hair, you know? It's just, she's not worrying about how am I going to get it everywhere. It's just what can I do? And then we take care of it from there.
Yeah. Well, and what's been interesting with working with her, right, is, you know, I personally think, you know, a place like that is just they should have more content all over the place than anyone, just because they're always making someone more beautiful. Right?
Absolutely.
What better content is there?
Yeah, it's easy.
And so, but even then, again, we talked before about, you know, it's hard to always think about that and remember it when you're doing the day-to-day of running a business.
Yeah.
And it's been interesting working with her where it just, you know, again, it's the same challenges, right?
Yeah.
Even though, and she probably looks at what we have with the studio over here and thinks, well, shouldn't they always be creating content?
Right.
You know? And so it's interesting how we always look at some of these other businesses and just think, well, they have it easy with what they need to.
It would be so
does.
easy. No. Creating content is a challenge. You know, I wanted to tell you something about organic. So I remember early on when I was first getting started and becoming active online with my insurance page, I paid for ads. It was the first thing that I was like, I'm going to try this. And I can't remember how much money I spent. It wasn't a whole lot. I was just like, I'm just going to test it. Guess what? I didn't get one.
Not one.
Nothing. I mean, I would get feedback as far as like, you're making this many impressions, blah, 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 blah. But
you get that organically too.
Nothing. So it's been interesting because since that time, with this whole process, I've gotten leads.
Gotten actual leads from it.
Yep. And I've had people call me and contact me, and I'm not paying money. I'm just active online.
Well, and the great thing about it is it affects a lot more than just that top of funnel, right?
Totally.
Paid is so top of funnel centric. Whereas these people, you know, once they start engaging with you and they become leads now, they're also seeing you every day in their social media, and they're, you know, you're able to be in front of them and remind them that you're their friend.
I'm here. And I mean, even people, I've had people call me and they're like, my friend saw you online and that's how I got your contact. I'm like, oh my gosh, this works.
It actually works.
It works. And I didn't have to spend any money. It just has to be happening. And again, my content in the beginning was fluff.
But it was there.
But it was there and it was consistent.
That's right.
5 times a day.
One of my favorite questions that I get when I'm talking to people who have come a lead from social media, right, is like, and it's a common question actually. They say, "So, you think that this will really work?" And I said, "We're on the phone right now. It's this is proof that it works."
I know. It's crazy. The world, social media, the internet, everything. It's just made the world much smaller, and I love it. I love that we can help people from all over.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's cool.
It is.
It's exciting.
So you again, you kind of led this charge with starting for your insurance business, and now you're working with our clients for onboarding and support. And
Yeah.
I love that you're able to do that because
Thank you. I love it too.
it's definitely part of the business that I'd much rather have you do than me.
Aw.
And so-
Well, we work well together.
Absolutely. What have been? Are there any kind of aha moments or things that have stood out as you've helped some of our other clients get kind of onboarded and working with our team now a lot more than you were before? Or both teams, I guess, a team in a couple teams in different parts of the world.
Let's see, an aha moment. I think that for myself, just having walked very shortly, not a long time, but long enough for me to realize as a business owner, trying to create content and post it, plus run my business is not manageable. And that what we've created is a solution for small business owners.
Absolutely.
And I just, I love it. It's like I just want to share it with every single small business owner because of what we have found. It's just like, this is the answer to help make it much easier for you. And you will be successful.
Much easier.
Much, all caps.
Well, and one thing that's fun, I guess, for me is really the more they're involved, the better their content turns out, and the faster they're able to get going.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see when people really embrace it and they they're excited about it and they're happy to get in there and engage with the team and get things rocking and rolling.
The team's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, any small business owner that takes advantage of this and is active like you're talking about, they're going to do better. Yeah. And it's, I mean, they still have to be involved because it's their business. We want their voice. We can't be their voice for them. But our support and everything that we have to offer, it's lifting a burden off of their shoulders.
Absolutely.
And I'll say, one of our clients, my hairdresser, she is so excited. I mean, she's constantly sending information to me and we have all these ideas. And I think that just the fact that she has us to help her, it's helped her be excited to actually create content for social media.
Because otherwise it's like, I can do this stuff. If they never get around to doing anything with it, then what good is it?
Well, and it's so easy just to grab.
That can be very discouraging as a business owner.
Totally. And it's easy for her. She just has to take videos. She doesn't have to put the stuff together.
No, that's what
what we do.
Yeah.
We make it so easy.
Right.
So she's become very, very excited.
That's awesome.
About it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely exciting.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Trying to think of what else we can.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
So, how do you feel about what we've created?
I'm excited about it. The clients that we've worked with so far, I think that we have it's a small segment with this offering, but we have a good mix of different types of business. We got a couple B2B, we've got definitely some easy, and then some different service industries and publication and things like that. And so it's been interesting to me how different types of businesses either quickly adopt or don't, right?
Yeah.
And work with the team and get really involved, get really, I've got one client that I can think of where I don't think anything could stand in his way from getting this stuff set up and getting his content out there.
Yeah.
And others where they're kind of dragging their feet a little bit. And it's just because they're busy running their business. It's not because they don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And so just learning that and identifying ways where we can help those that are moving a little slower to get some process in place to build it, and things that will help them get started faster has been it's been both a challenge, but it's been very educational for me.
For sure.
Because we all think it sounds easy on the surface, right?
It sounded so easy.
But the goal is really just to and one thing that's been a great learning experience is learning how we can make it easier and easier and easier and more streamlined for the clients to get on board, because that's really what it's about, right? Because it is easy on the surface, but at the end of the day, like I said, these people are still running a business or a marketing department or whatever, depending on the type of business it is.
Right.
And so, it's been a lot of fun.
I totally agree. Just touching on the clients that we have that are maybe moving a little bit slower, it's been really interesting even to look at their analytics, because we're posting content for them. We're still in the fluff stage. We have some transition that's a little personalized, but every single one of our clients has had an increase, even though it's small, but they still are having an increase in their following.
Yep.
And so again, that something is better than nothing it's important.
Absolutely.
But there has to come a point where you transition where that something is you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what we're working with our clients on, and it's really fun work. We all have really good energy, and it's just the team. We're all diverse, and we're going to help anybody that we can.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So.
So it has been, it's been a learning experience, but it's also been, and when I say learning experience, more from a business perspective, as far as that goes, just learning how to work with our team to adopt some specific process and procedures so that we can make this such a scalable offering, which is really the goal. Because if we wanted to work with 10 or 20 clients and customers, we could probably do that with any process.
Yeah.
Right. But really working through the different project management solutions and the internal process and training all these new employees that we've invested in has been, we've definitely, because we've grown faster with this than we have in the past. And so the need to onboard not just workers who have one job, but onboard managers and people who do all the, middle level people and who do all these other things. That was definitely, it was a new challenge for me. And I think Mario probably agrees with that. And I know you've seen a lot of that too.
Yeah.
As far as some of those, no bad challenges at all.
Just growing pains.
And not even, I wouldn't even call it growing pains necessarily. Just it's learning to work muscles that we haven't worked before.
That's actually a really good way to describe it.
And just that we're not used to. And so.
But the fact that we are having to work those muscles, it's only evidence that this is something that small businesses need.
100%. Yeah.
It's just, you think about corporate America, you think about their marketing departments, they're huge. They have whole sections devoted to this. Small business owners, they can't afford that.
That's
They can't.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to do it. And anyway, we found a solution.
Yep. It's been exciting.
It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I think we're almost at 30 minutes here.
Oh
so,
my gosh.
Well,
good conversation, Jimmy.
Yeah, it was a good conversation.
Yeah.
We'll do this again
For
sometime
sure.
in the very near future.
For sure. Yes.
So.
This blonde and brunette.
All right. Awesome.
Okay. Thanks,
Go ahead
Jimmy.
And log off of
You're
live
awesome.
here. You too.
Thanks.